It's the Steam Summer Sale, the time of the year where you buy games you'll never play at huge discounts. And I came across Papers, Please, a game released in 2013. As someone who's done admin work, this shouldn't be too difficult. In Papers, Please, you are a lucky commoner chosen to do one very important job. Ensure that the Great Arstotzka's borders are only open to those with the proper documentation. And how gracious! You and your family are given a Class 8 dwelling in the very pleasant district of East Grettin. I'm so grateful to be living in this Class 8 dwelling with my son, my wife, my uncle, and my mother-in-law. Although we are more than happy to shiver and starve in this cold, dark apartment, I have to repay my debt to the country by working at one of the safest jobs, border control. Hey, this booth isn't that bad. On the left, we have a clock. And by the way, the date format it's displaying is correct because this meme said so. And you're wrong because you're the smaller. We have a slot to store envelopes, a microphone to record evidence. We have a book with all the fun state secrets, and a weighing scale. Day 1 was fairly boring. I got insulted and threatened by someone. As you can see, everyone is doing okay, so they don't need food, they don't need heat, let's just pay rent. On day 2, we see the first psychological tactic used against us: lying. And I banned her from entering the country. The next guy tried the same thing and I banned him too. I think that made them really upset and they decided to take another approach. Terrorism. Well, I survived, but everyone in my family is cold, hungry, and my son is sick. But we can go without heat for another day, so let's just get food and medicine. They posted my screw up on the newspaper, and now a woman is insulting me for it. But I guess I'm still loyal to the country. And then there's this guy, who doesn't even have a passport. Honestly, I'm impressed by the audacity, but I'm still rejecting him. The next day, this woman came to my booth and asked me to let her in so that she can see her son. Though I feel horrible for rejecting her, I guess it's still my job to protect the border. I think she was quite upset.
You wanna see me do it again?
Okay, so disclaimer for the next part of the video. It will probably just include pseudo-intellectual ramblings by a self-diagnosed psychologist. So if you don't want to see that, you can just skip to. After this point, I realized that the game wasn't forcing us to pick a side, and that it was just presenting the harsh realities of border control in the post-World War II era. War-torn Europe has left many people in poverty and isolated from their families. As much as I would like to help them reunite, it will also come at the own cost of my family, leaving me in a very tough spot. It reminds you that when times are tough, you'll often leave morality behind in favor of you and your family's survival. Even if you were to try your best and help others, you'll find yourself left with nothing, and eventually, someone much more cruel will replace you. It is also interesting to note that being completely subservient and honest with those in power isn't a way out either, because that's how I lost in the game. Let's say we are living in a dystopia with a tyrannical ruler. What is the point where we are actively willing to go against his demands? I like to think of it as a prisoner's dilemma. To be as succinct as possible without copying Wikipedia, the prisoner's dilemma is a scenario where you and an accomplice can choose to blame each other or remain silent. Blaming will remove your prison sentence, assuming that your accomplice does not choose to blame you. However, if you were to both blame each other, you get a longer prison sentence compared to if you both remain silent. Also, there is no communication between each other. Automatically, both parties will deduce that blaming will always lead to a better outcome for them. If they blame and the other party doesn't, they can go free. That's great. And blaming rather than remaining silent when the other party blames you will also result in a more favorable outcome. However, if we look at it from the group's perspective, both parties staying silent is the best outcome, with the shortest overall prison duration. This shows that when we are faced with an unfavorable situation, there's a natural emphasis towards benefiting oneself, even at the cost of society as a whole. I think that if I was in that situation, I'll probably end up being selfish and keep quiet just to protect my family, just as I did in the game. Even if it's for a temporary duration, we will often choose the more selfish option to hopefully buy our family more time to live. They came first for the communists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a communist. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Jew. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Catholics, and I didn't speak up because I was a Protestant. Then they came for me, and by that time, no one was left to speak up.